Buying a CPU nowadays has become kind of confusing, and the reason for that is that you can no longer just look at the specs and understand how good a CPU performs. You have to look at actual benchmarks or know them by heart. And since I know them by heart, I'm gonna tell you exactly what CPU you should buy according to your budget. First budget tier is gonna be $20, and for that amount of money, the best choice you have is the Ryzen 5 1600. This CPU has 6 cores, 12 threads, and a boost clock of 3.6 GHz with a TDP of 65 watts. A 14nm architecture. However, you should keep in mind there are two versions of the CPU, the 1600AE and the 1600AF. The AF is basically a 2600 but slightly slower and is a lot better in terms of performance, but is also probably more expensive. If you find both for the same price, it is recommended that you go with the 1600AF because it performs better. And the most powerful GPU that you can pair with the 1600 is the RX 6600 or the RTX 3060. Next budget that we have is $35, and for that amount of money, the 2600 is the absolute best choice. It is a great CPU. It has 6 cores, 12 threads with a clock speed that goes up to 3.9 GHz. It is a great CPU, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is in the next tier. The best CPU that you can pair with the 2600 is the RX 7600. However, if you find the 2600X for the same price, you should buy it. However, the difference between the X version and non-X version is basically nothing, just a little bit of overclock. So if you have a Ryzen 5 2600, you can simply overclock it a little bit and make it a 2600X. Third budget for today, which is my absolute favorite, coming up at $50, the Ryzen 5 3600 or the 3600X, which are basically identical. There's only a little bit of overclock in the X version. This CPU comes with 6 cores, 12 threads, and it boosts up to 4.2 GHz, and you can easily overclock the CPU with no issues at all. Since it only consumes 65 watts, it is very easy to overclock and it's very easy to cool down. And the process node is only 7 nanometers, making it one of the best AM4 CPUs when it comes to value for money. And the best GPU that you can pair with the Ryzen 5 3600 at 1080p is gonna be the RTX 3060 Ti or the RX 7600 XT. Fourth budget tier for today is gonna be around $80. And for that amount of money, there's only one CPU that I can safely recommend, which is the Ryzen 5 5600. It has 6 cores, 12 threads, and it goes up to 4.4 GHz, and it only consumes 65 watts, making it very easy to overclock and very easy to cool down. A stock cooler would be more than enough. And the reason we jumped from the 3600 all the way to the 5600, because in my opinion, any CPU in between is just not worth the money. You're not getting tangible difference when you jump from the 3600 to, let's say, the 4500 or let's say the 5500. There's simply not enough difference in performance that would justify the price. The best GPU that you can pair with the Ryzen 5 5600 is the RX 7900 GRE or the RTX 4070 Ti. Fifth budget tier, which is going to be the absolute smartest choice for 2026, and we're jumping to the AM5 platform, which is still supported to this day, coming up at $145, the Ryzen 5 7500F. This CPU is my all-time favorite CPU. You basically buy this and it lasts you at least 10 years, no issues at all. 6 cores, 12 threads, goes up to 5 GHz, and you can easily overclock it since it only consumes 65 watts, and the process node is only 5 nanometers, making this CPU an absolute beast. And the biggest advantage to having this CPU isn't the CPU itself, but rather the platform, because if you have the AM5 platform, you can upgrade the CPU later on very easily. You just swap it. And for the GPU, you can literally pick whatever. Even a 4090 or 4K is not going to have any bottlenecks with this CPU, so you're basically free to choose whatever GPU you want to pair with this CPU. Now for the people who don't care about money and are like, just give me the goddamn best CPU ever, the best gaming CPU so far in 2026 is gonna be the Ryzen 7 9850X3D, which should cost you around $500. And if you want to edit videos as well and do heavy workloads, I recommend the Ryzen 9 9950X3D, and it should cost you around $700. These CPUs are just absolute monsters. You can pair them with literally anything that you can think of. 5090, 4090, you're not gonna have any issues at all. Just pair them with whatever GPU that you want and you're not gonna have any issues at all. And if you buy one of these CPUs, they're gonna probably last you at least 20 years without needing to upgrade. And that's it. Thank you for watching.